So I have about 10 minutes to give you guys an overall introduction to the consultancy services in general. And the reason that we wanted to put this little introduction in here is that consulting is kind of a goofy name for what we do, but we really couldn't come up with one better. I mean, it is a consulting, but it is also a very horizontal kind of custom development group and leadership here that pulls from every developer pool within ChemAxon itself. So the reason that we went with the informatics pick and mix is that for every project that we've had to deal with, we've had to pull from various resource pools from within the company. So when you're doing when we've been doing projects, you really can't think of it as picking the individual skills or background or experience that you need and kind of combining them up for the project needs. So there's two main messages that I just wanted to convey out there is that even though the faces that you see most of the time with consulting is myself and Tim being the head of the entire world of consulting for within ChemAxon, and myself as the pretty much the head of the U.S. side of things, is that we're not the only faces involved here in the consulting group. We have a whole teams all over the place. In the Czech Republic, where IJC is based, we have some dedicated consulting developers that work very closely with the IJC boys. In Argentina, there's a whole nest of very talented developers that we pull from and have used for a number of projects. The USA, we have some consultants as well as the app size. We work very closely with the application scientists, both in the United States and in Hungary. And here in the mothership, where we have close to 100 developers, and we've used many of them for some of our developing projects. And when you have this whole pool to select from, we have all kinds of skills and experiences and backgrounds. Some of us have a very rich scientific background, like myself and Tim. Others have a very steep IT background, so there's a lot going into these projects when we deal with them. And the second message is that we've dealt with all kinds of projects from very small scale to very large. And I figured one of the best ways to get this message out is just to kind of run through the scale. We'll give you a couple examples of things that we've done over the past several years that range in various sizes. So from the very short-term engaging end, one of the things that we've spent a lot of time doing is customized training. And we've done some end-user training, but we've also done developer training, specialized administrative stuff, customization of products, like with Instant JChem, which is kind of the bread and butter of a lot of projects because it's so extensible as our platform. Customized forms and scripting, cartridge or database migrations. One of the hot topics you've seen this UGM has been migration off of ISIS. We've done a lot of that. We also have a product called MiniReg that has been picking up a lot of traction as well. So I know you're all very familiar with our awesome compound reg, which is a very large enterprise kind of compound registration system. But MiniReg was something that came out of a project from consulting. And it's just a simple registration system that can handle chemistry as well as biology. So for small guys and medium-sized guys that need to handle chemistry on the batches, assays, sample side, as well as their biological assays, this is something that we've been pushing people towards. And it's just built on IJC with a bunch of customized scripting and customized forms. And we have it in about 10 companies now, and for 10 companies, each one needed different customization. So we sell it as a consultancy type thing because everybody wants to register things different. Everybody wants to aggregate differently. Everybody wants to register different kinds of assays. And it is built on top of IJC, so it's a pretty simple form access, but it lets you handle various batches of registration of compounds, so you can check for duplicates or tautomers, assign corporate IDs as you wish. You can even sever off samples from these batches that you can use for biological testing and then re-register them back at the end. I do apologize for any brevity. I'm trying to shove a lot into a very small time period here, but if you have any questions about any of the projects I'm talking about, Tim or I would just be delighted to talk a lot more about it. So going on down the red line of consulting doom, I guess, I don't know. The next thing up is a patent mining workflow. So the talk you saw just before here with ARPAD's markage curation tool, a lot of that was developed in parallel with a consulting project that we had that was all revolving around patent mining for a particular company. And this was basically looking for a tool base to extract out structures and relevant chemical information from select patents. Because what they wanted to do with this was then have a kind of linguistic geared query across a lot of these specific patents is to combine with chemistry information, to basically explore the chemical space and kind of look at the white space they're in. So out of this project started the idea for a lot of the Chem Curator. And what we're finding over the last several years as consultancy has ramped up is that a number of the products that are starting to come forth started out as a customer need. And that usually comes through the consultancy side of things. So we've been seeing some really cool things come out of our customer need base, and then we roll them into some products. Concurrent with this, DuPont had a special need for a document-to-database project, and this was a little bit simpler. They just needed to trawl their ELN and store the documents as something that was chemically and linguistically searchable. So this was using Daniel's Doc2DB technology with a web app that just sat on top of it. And right out of the box, it's kind of a straightforward, clean web app type interface where you can trawl things in the background and then on the front end search it in a variety of different ways. But what I wanted to point out here was that DuPont, the customization that we needed for DuPont, took that existing infrastructure and with pretty minimal overhead because it was already existing technology, switched it up a little bit so that then you could not only do your searches based on text or chemistry, but you also then had embedding the hot links to their specific ELNs, associated documents, some customization here. So this was a pretty straightforward project that brought a lot of joy and mirth to DuPont. We also have just been dealing with a Spotfire integration project. Richie talked about it a little bit this morning, his GSK's needs for the Spotfire. And this is still ongoing, but what we have here is a chemistry rendering intelligence that just sits natively on top of Spotfire. So you don't have to have any additional technology running in the background. And what this allows you to do is to take SMILE strings from Spotfire native tables and render them in a Spotfire native fashion. So you still have the ability to cherry pick, look at columns, look at data as you see fit. But now you have the ability to not only see your structure as you select or hover or have it in rows, but you also can put the chemical structures on the axes within Spotfire itself. A couple other things we've done that are getting on the larger side of things. A number of people have just needed some guidance on how to build a basic SAR database and how to access it, how to answer their higher level questions about garnering information from what they've been learning from the biology and chemistry side of things. Sometimes they just need advice on the scientific side of things. The European Lead Factory is a really nifty little project that Tim's going to talk about right after this. And the Novartis Reactions Database was also a fun project. Novartis came to us and they said, oh, woe is us, we have a CambridgeSoft ELN and we can't search it. And we also have all kinds of ISIS legacy databases that aren't very friendly either. So the consultancy team basically migrated these things into ChemAxon-based databases that then became searchable and then plopped a web application on top of this so that we didn't have to deal with changing up the CambridgeSoft ELN, but now you had a slick little web interface that allowed you to actually search the ELN, search the reactions, and then you could instantly hot link jump back into the ELN itself. So that again was a low overhead type of project that didn't require hacking too much into the CambridgeSoft itself. Well, we like low overhead creative solutions that allow you to rapidly find what it is that you're actually looking for. And down here at the very end of our red line of doom is the large-scale project management. Some of the other things that we do is literally just large-scale project management. And two examples that I can tell you about, some of them I can't, but like Richie talked about this morning with GSK, is that the consultancy has been doing the project management side of a lot of this evolution. For them, because we've been rolling out Instant JChem as a global reporting tool. We've dealt with assistance and training, customization of IJC. We've had to build some additional administrative tools to sit on top of it to help them deal with security, as well as some other customization things that they were interested in. Bristol-Myers Squibb is another one that we project manage, and this has been an ongoing large project that looks at also customizing Instant JChem and developing it for their whole global rollout needs. Dealt with training, migration of data, consulting on their data mart integration. The thin client development is Plexus Suite that we've been kind of co-developing along with their needs, and we've had a very nice collaborative feedback with them for looking at how things are actually functioning on a global enterprise basis. And that kind of speaks to a lot of the development just in general, is that we're trying to get more involved with you guys, because the more feedback we can get from you guys, the better of a product and the more applicable it's going to be. So that's something that consulting has been really kind of focusing on recently as well. So in summary, basically, if you can buzzword bingo it, this is what we do. We look at product development. We also guide product customization. Sometimes consulting projects turn into products themselves later down the road. We do a lot of stuff with workflows, both small scale and large scale, project management, and just general creative solutions. So thank you very much. That was my 10 minutes.